Welcome back, heroes. Thank you once again for joining me for another recap slash review of comics from my pull list. This time, it's going to be Nocterra number 4, which is pretty good. Um, Look at the cover here. I usually like the covers to have something to do with the actual storyline. This one unfortunately does not. So, and if you're listening to this on Spotify and you want to look at the cover or anything, you can see it on the album cover first of all with the Spotify image. But if you want to see it in a bigger picture, you can always check out my YouTube. I'm doing the same here on YouTube that I am on Spotify and vice versa. You can also check out my Instagram on at Manny Reads Comics, and there's more comic content there. Anyways, back to the book. Cover by Tony S. Daniels, beautiful. Val looks amazing. She's got the action pose. Uh, yeah, she's doing good things, big things. Only being held back by her brother as usual. I will get deeper into that as we go on. But the story starts off with Val and Emery back in their childhood. It's been 3 days since the big PM, and they're watching the news. There's still hope. Basically, they have an announcement saying that they have stadiums packed with people for refuge. Um, they have stadium lights. They have like all these bright lights, and they're saying, please stay in your homes. The military personnel will be coming around to everybody's houses and to pick you up. And but it's been 3 days, and Val and Emery are stuck in their house with their parents turning into shades in the basement, locked up, um, and they haven't heard it from them. And then day 4 comes around, they still haven't heard anything. Val quickly loses hope. She knows that nobody's coming, and they had to fend for themselves basically. And this is where you kind of see that she was forced to grow up. And this I like this about her. She's not sitting there saying "woe is me," anything like that. She sees the situation, she assesses it, and she realizes what she needs to do, and she does it. On the other hand, we have her little brother Emery, M, and he's still got hope. He still believes something's gonna happen. Parents are gonna be just fine. The military's gonna come and help them with all these miraculous devices, right? Um, by day 6, they still haven't seen anybody. No news. They heard a truck drive by, but that's it. They just drove by. They didn't check or anything. So Val says, "We need to look for Dad's gun. Where is it? Where is it? Help me find it." And then we come to realize that, of course, Emery has had it this whole time. He doesn't want to go with Valerie's plan of what I assume is shooting their parents and surviving basically. And it's a tough choice, it's a tough situation, but I gotta agree with Val here. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't know, uh, but Emery is just holding out, and he finally says, "I don't want to do your plan. We always do your plan. I want to do my plan. I want to wait." And Val kind of narrates at this point, just saying, um, that his plan is to just sit there and wait for this miraculous military personnel to show up, and she's not going to sit around and wait for that. And then it just cuts off. So I assume at this point, I'm assuming she pulled an old yeller with her parents. I believe she killed her parents, and then they went out to the world, and she's been surviving ever since. Then we see her most likely grow up to be the trucker that she becomes, and um, the survivor that she becomes basically, and the hardened survivor at that. Um, but then we get this look at Val and Bailey. They're back in the truck, and Emery's in the back. He does not look like Emery. He seems pretty bad in pretty bad shape. He's got veins like popping out everywhere. He's connected to a certain machine in the back of the truck. So again, I'm assuming here that from what we saw in the last issue, that he attacked, and Val was able to get control of him or something, throw him in the back of the truck, put some sunlight or something on it, or just lights in general, um, and calm him down. But he doesn't look good, and this is where I'm kind of confused by Val. She quickly gave up hope with her parents, quickly realize, you know, I'm not going to survive here if I continue hoping somebody's going to save me. Um, and she did what she needed to do. But now that her brother is potentially about to turn into a shade, honestly, he's past the point of no return. They said like as soon as your gums turn black, you're becoming a shade. There's nothing they can do. Pretty sure his gums are black and he's got the red eyes. He can hear a voice from the darkness. This guy is past the point of no return, and Val is still holding on to hope that when she gets to whatever location Bailey's trying to get to, that she can save her brother. And that just it clashes with how she's been before, and I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. She's gonna she's just hurting herself, but it is what it is. um, Bailey is still hopeful. She says what they're going to Tipton, right? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Tipton. They're going to this outpost called Tipton to get a solar lamp from this is a funny name, Hill Dill. And while he may be a shady character, he never lies about what he has, you know. So that should be there, and Val truly believes that right there can help control her brother, and then whoever they're gonna go find at Bailey's destination will help her brother. And Bailey pretty much tells her the things are gonna be there, everything's gonna be okay, and if I'm right, the solar lamp is there, then I get to drive the truck. And she agrees. She's like, yeah, if we find everything, you get to drive the truck. So they get to Tipton, and first thing they see is this huge building with a gigantic suitcase at the very top. And Bailey's like, please tell me that I'm not seeing things, and that is actually a suitcase at the top of the building. And Val goes into a little bit of backstory of why that's there. It's a suitcase museum from um, unclaimed luggage, things like that. And there's all sorts of trinkets inside that museum. Um, Everything seems fine, and Bailey gets a little too comfortable. So their surroundings, Tipton's just been overthrown basically by human shades, which are the worst types of shades. So they're so bad that the other shades, other creatures, steer clear of human shades. So with that logic, Bailey says, because these human shades just left, there are no threats around. So she starts yelling. She makes loud noises. And of course, you know, Val's like, hey, careful. There might be some scavenger shades around. And sure enough, there they are. They show up. It's like a coyote hybrid type shade. Um, it looks like it's going to be tough, but Val takes it out in like 1 minute, 1 second, a couple of shots, and that's it. Um, but she does say, you know what, we need to go. You know, there's one, there's going to be more. So they get what they need. Oh, they travel to Hildill's office, where we see that he definitely put up a fight to the end. Another cool thing that we see is that he had some fish in a tank, and they were fish that had turned into shades. So these fish kind of look like cans. Honestly, they don't really look like fish at all. But it's another creature that we get to see that has been turned. So it's cool to see that. Um, but lo and behold, Val finds what she's looking for, which was the solar lamp. So immediately they go back to the truck, they open it, and Emery attacks, of course, because Emery is the worst. But he attacks them, but quickly Val turns on that solar lamp, and it does do exactly what it needs to do, and it calms him down enough to where he can control himself. But he is saying, "I can still hear a voice. This is not enough. Um, you got to do what you got to do, basically." And she's just like, "Shut up. You're gonna be fine. We're gonna get you help. This is helping." Um, oh, and going back to the human shades, Bailey does give them a new name. She calls them smudges because everywhere they go, they basically smudge everything. So smudges from now on are human shades. Um, then we go away from them. We go to Bellwether, which was that the lady who like gives them their missions, their routes or whatever. She's the one that warned Val in the first place that Blacktop Bill was after them. Um, we see Bellwether, and she's contacting this information post, talking to some guy named Mother, and Mother says, like, yeah, you've always helped me. What do you need? As soon as she says Blacktop Bill, who is Blacktop Bill, Mother freaks out, says, "Nope, can't help you. I'm logging off forever," and he shuts it down, and Bellwether can't believe it. But then, like 2 seconds later, uh, Mother comes back on. And he's, "Hey, this is a private line. You can't be saying that name in public because it's dangerous. I shouldn't be talking to you, but like I said, you've been helping me out so much. You have helped me out so much. I'm gonna do what I can. And what do you need to know?" And so they go into like a little bit of backstory that we don't hear. All we hear is his origin started in Florida. So there's that. We know that of course, Blacktop Bill, this great villain, is from Florida. But he's Florida man, right? No, I'm just kidding. Um, but we end with that. We go back to Val and Bailey. We we don't see M anymore, but they are fixing their truck, and the harpoons that drained the battery did such damage on the battery that it pretty much aged it 10 years, according to Val, and it's not going to hold the charge for very long. Luckily, they only had a couple hundred miles to travel, and it should hold out for that length. As soon as they figure that out, they talk about that. Val tells Bailey, "Hey, go get the keys. You're driving," and Bailey can't believe it. So she's like, "Oh my god, thank you so much." She jumps in the driver's seat, and I can really drive, is what she says. And Val says, "Yes, but first you got to pick a call sign." And Bailey doesn't know what to do, so she asks for some advice. And this is where Val says that most truckers, they pick their call signs. They choose something that they really hate. And then she goes into her call sign. Her call sign is a sundog, and she explains that a sundog is basically fake sunlight. And back when she was blind, basically, um, every once in a while she would get like that flash of sunlight, and while it wasn't fake sunlight, it was fake to her, right? It was just a flash of what can be, and then it's gone. So she hated that so much that that's her call sign now. And she explains that that's also what's drawn on her face mask or helmet. Those That's like a little sundog of a flash of light. So that's cool. I really liked hearing what that was. I was wondering what that was. I was hoping it was more like it. I don't know. I just didn't think it was just a design. I was hoping it was something more. But oh well, I can get over that, I guess. But Bailey needs a call sign before she can drive. I don't think she came up with one because next we see Val driving. Um, and then we go over to Blacktop Bill. He's still chasing them. He's still on the hunt, but he's talking to his boss, and that really that really surprised me. I just did not expect Blacktop Bill, this evil character, to have a boss that he needs to answer to. And basically, he's like, "Have you found them? Have you found the book?" And he says, "No, but I am chasing them. They they should be running out of power soon. This is the fun part of the chase." And then this his boss, his chief. I don't know if he just called him chief to be sarcastic or if that's his actual name, but chief tells him, "You need to catch up to them, and then you need to burn them and do away with them. Burn the book, burn the people, the girl, everything, just like you did the scientist." So he's under the assumption that he killed the scientist. He doesn't know that he actually turned the scientist into a smudge, and currently has him tied up to the top of his car, where he's just yelling. And then finally the boss says, what's that noise?" And Blacktop Bill is just like, "Oh, that's just the wind. It's really howling tonight." And this guy, man, is whew, I like him. He's one of the better villains that I've seen this year. Original villains, really. Um, but then we go back to Val and Bailey, and their truck is dead. It's not going anymore. But luckily, they only had a couple meters to go, anyways. So Val says, "We're gonna have to walk it." And Bailey going back to the call sign, says, "Can that be my call sign?" And so obviously she does not like hearing those words, especially because it's dark as always. They're in the middle of nowhere. There's no light except for what that they can provide. As soon as they walk out past the headlights that the truck provides, um, they get surrounded, and there's nothing there. They realize they traveled all this way for nothing, uh, basically just to get ambushed by a bunch of shades. Um, and they go into battle mode. The shades attack. Val quickly starts to shoot anything that comes near them. Bailey isn't being what's the word I'm looking here? She's not being useless. There you go. She's got her slingshot and she's attacking them as well, but she's not as trained as Val, so Val does have to continue like helping her out or pulling her back from some situations. But then they run away. The shades run away, which Bailey is like, "Oh yeah, everything's great," but Val knows that the reason they're running away is most likely because something stronger, something more dangerous just showed up. I was thinking it was going to be Blacktop Bill, but no, it's human shades. They have shown up, and at this point, Val recalls her last night with her parents, um, and I was wrong on my assumption where that she shot them, and then they took off. She went along with Emery's plan. She put the gun down, and she waited, waited for some miraculous being to appear. She waited until her parents broke down the basement door and they attacked. But luckily and miraculously, when that happened, military personnel also broke down the door. They came in with all their technology and they saved them from the parents. Here again, I am assuming that the military personnel definitely killed the parents, but at least it's not an old Yeller type of thing where she had to kill her parents, right? Um, but she's feeling the parallels right now, from that day to right now, that there's not going to be a miraculous savior here out in the middle of nowhere. But surprise, surprise, something comes out from under the ground. It looks like a manhole's opening or something, and it's Augustus's brother. Turns out it's a twin brother, and his name is Tiberius, I believe. And he is able to. He's got like a little trap that lights up all the shades. They run away, and he says, "You're safe now," and that's nice. That's cute, whatever. But this next scene really made me mad. They went back for Emery, and they brought him down into this cave. I'll go into that in a second, but they go into the cave. They're walking in. What's her name? Val. She realizes that they got saved, but she doesn't feel like she has no hope, basically, that they're gonna live for long. So she grabs Emery's hand. Might be the last time she grabs it, and she's preparing for anything really. And then she sees something that's beyond her belief, and it's sunlight. She sees sunlight. She sees a little flower going towards the sunlight, and that's how it ends. It's nice and hopeful. It's really good to see. I gave this issue a 7.5 out of 10, and that's solely because I'm happy that not only are they pushing forward, they're not giving up or anything like that, even though they should be giving up in so many different places, but they're also being rewarded for this grit. They're being rewarded by seeing that sunlight, by finding Tiberius, that he does exist, and he was there, and he was able to save them. They found that solar lamp that could possibly save Emery, which I don't care, but whatever. They are still being rewarded for their efforts, and I like that. Um, Blacktop Bill is a great villain, as always. He's from Florida. That's a positive. The villain part, not the Florida part. Uh, we get the Sundog and the helmet design origins. I like seeing that. I like reading about that. And it's so subtle too. Like it's not in your face. This is who I am, but it's yeah. Like, the moment came up for her to talk about it, and so she talked about it. Um, and we get to see more shades. I like that a lot. It's one of the things that I am looking forward to more, is seeing all the different types of evolutionary changes that this darkness has provided. So we saw the fish that looked nothing like fish. We saw the coyote. We saw a little bit of, I guess, no, we didn't really see human shades, but we did see other creatures that attacked. Um, so great to see that. That's positive. My only negatives here are Emery. He needs to go. He's bringing them all down. They keep trying to save him. He's that guy that gets scratched by a zombie and doesn't tell anybody, and then he ends up attacking the group. So I don't like him at all. I don't like his character. All he does is cry. I don't like him. I'll stop there. But to continue with the Emery, the next negative is the fact that Tiberius let Emery in to the cave. Some guy who wants to save the world. His sole purpose is to save the world and bring it out of this darkness and bring sunlight back to the world. And he's going to risk all of that by bringing this obviously infected person into sanctuary. Doesn't fly well with me. I don't like it. That's so stupid. It knocked it down by like 2 points. It should be a 9.5, right? But no, that right there, 7.5 out of 10. It's a good issue. I had a good time reading it. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much. And again, make sure you visit YouTube or Spotify or any other podcast platforms. I think I do Google and Apple as well, and Anchor. Um, I haven't really messed with it, but I know that Anchor does this thing where you can do voice messages. So if you ever want to send me a voice message, question, comments, concerns, let me know. Send a voice message, or you can always instant message me instantly at Manny Reads Comics on Instagram. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you next time.